forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell
so we can go to college and get more knowledge.
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system.
Welcome back in the place to be with the CBDC Assets Group. Thank you all for being a part of the group. In this one, we got Peter Schiff in November of 2021 in a debate with Celsius co-founder Alex MASHINSKI. He's straight savagely beasting MASHINSKI and exposing Celsius as a fraud. Check it out.
Celsius Network has taken over from Terra Luna as the most talked about crypto disaster. Following a major downturn over the last few weeks, Celsius Network did the unthinkable and paused all withdrawals, swaps, and transfers between accounts, essentially locking users out of their funds, acting in the interest of our community. That's not ideal from one of the largest crypto lenders in the space, with 80% of Celsius earnings going back to their user base. In return, Celsius uses the deposited crypto to generate profits by loaning them out to other institutions and crypto exchanges for a higher interest rate, similar to how a bank makes money using your money. Alternatively, any of Celsius's 1.7 million customers could purchase the Celsius token, CEL, which gives them access to higher guaranteed rates and lower costs. In principle, this business model works. Just look at the banks. However, what Celsius didn't take into account was the volatile crypto markets. However, when the markets tumbled, including seeing Ethereum and Bitcoin take a pounding, Celsius's assets under management fell by 50%, from $24 billion down to $12 billion, meaning they faced a liquidity crisis. And if every investor tried to withdraw their money, they wouldn't be able to fulfill the withdrawals. So Celsius decided to suspend withdrawals. A massive red flag in the investment industry, essentially locking their investors out of their money.
Michael, give me my money back. Michael, do you hear me? I want my money back.
To the extent that they decide to get out, that the trade isn't working out for them. I mean, look, Bitcoin got up to 60,000 back, I think it was in April of this year. And basically, that's where it is right now. I mean, it hasn't really made any additional.
It made a new all-time high.
Oh, yeah, but it sold off. I mean, right now we're about 60,000. We're a little bit below where we were.
As do most assets. Hit a new all-time high, dropped. Balances potentially hit another one.
Are you moderating this, or are you just here to tout Bitcoin too? Is that your main goal of Bitcoin?
I'm here to play both sides.
I'm making a point here. You don't need to argue with me. My point is that
I'm highlighting the price facts, Peter. But go ahead and make your point.
I know that. But let me finish making my point. You're the moderator.
Go ahead.
All right?
I know, and I will continue to do so. But
yes,
finish your
I know,
point.
But
I can make my own case. No problem.
You're clearly biased, and I get that. You're part of the shills out there that are trying to get people to buy Bitcoin. You probably have a bunch of Bitcoin advertisers. And my point is, we've had an unprecedented amount of money spent advertising Bitcoin. I mean, every time I turn on financial television, all I see, one commercial after another, highly produced, very slick Madison Avenue campaign trying to get people to buy Bitcoin or some other crypto. All of this push, massive amounts of money spent, all kinds of retail people getting sucked in, and the price hasn't gone up. So what that tells me is that there's massive distribution going on. The stronger hands that got in early have been pumping this market up, and they are gradually unloading their digital tokens to the public. They're spending all this money to con people into buying what they want to sell. And yeah, you have some people that have Johnny-come-lately that have been attracted by the greed, which always happens at tops of every bubble. Some of the people who were negative early on throw in the towel, they capitulate. They need to get in on it because they've missed so much action. And you get some people that come in, and that's happened. But the momentum is going to drop. Bitcoin is going to crack. Maybe once it gets back down below 20,000, you'll have a lot more selling coming in. I think a lot of people have taken out loans against their Bitcoin, which they hadn't been able to do in the past. So you have a leverage bet now among the hodlers. I think when the margin calls come, there's not going to be a way to meet them. You're going to have forced liquidation. There's not going to be anybody to take the other side of the trade. It's not like you got a bunch of shorts in Bitcoin that are going to cover. It's just going to fall into a vacuum. The whole market is going to implode. The losses are going to be horrific. So, it doesn't take catalyst. It doesn't.
Alex, let's touch on Peter's point of leverage, because that has been a new development with Bitcoin. And there are a lot of people there that have taken out a lot of leverage against their Bitcoin trades. And as we know, when that happens, it can cause a collapse very, very quickly and very, very suddenly. So what's your answer to that, Alex?
Well, we again, I'm not talking hypotheticals, right? I mean, again, we have 1.5 million customers. Like you said, they hold over $25 billion worth of digital currencies, mostly Bitcoin. And when I give you facts, these are facts from the community. It's not some hyperbole from what this person thinks or that person thinks. So we don't see much leverage in the system. And the recent drop rate, by the way, from 69 to 60 was all liquidations on people who were on margin. So meaning there's almost no margin left at that 55 to 60,000 level, right? So what's happening with Bitcoin every year or two is that a new base is being established, right? The base used to be 15,000, then it became 29,000. Now it's probably 45 to 50,000. And you're just not going to see Bitcoin go below that for a variety of reasons. And look, this is below those price levels. So,
which price
Peter,
level?
Look, it's not too late to buy Bitcoin. It's time for a shift. Peter, it's time for a shift.
If I want to lose money, it's not too late. I could buy Bitcoin and lose a bunch of money. I understand. I have a hard time believing that all of the margin debt somehow has been liquidated on the move back to 59,000. That now there are no more people that have debt on their Bitcoin. There's no way that that's the truth.
All exchanges disclose all the positions. They tell you exactly how many people are long, how many are shorts. Part of how Celsius creates yield is by lending to these institutions, to exchanges and institutions who are putting in the long or short position.
Are you talking about just your book of business or throughout the entire world? You're telling me that there's no more leverage on Bitcoin, that all the loans have been repaid?
We are dealing with 300 counterparties, right? So we watch the entire market. I'm not saying there's no leverage. I'm just telling you that the retail, you're talking about retail people buying on leverage, you can measure that very, very easily, right? That is something that is available. You can go to Open Glass, or you can go to a bunch of Masari. All of these platforms show you exactly the leverage.
All right, Peter, let's have you respond to Alex's notion that consensus has already made the decision.
All right. Look, first of all, of course people want to buy Bitcoin. They don't want it because they want to use it as a medium of exchange. They don't want it as a replacement for the dollar or the euro. They think they're going to get rich. People want to buy Bitcoin because they think it's going to the moon, right? They don't think that's going to happen to gold. They know it's not going to happen to the dollar. So, but when people actually want an alternative to fiat money, something that can be both a store of value, a unit of account, and a medium of exchange, then they would want to have your tokens backed by gold much more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin can never be a store of value. You could buy Bitcoin today at 60,000, and in a month it could be at 10,000. It could be lower. It's not a store of value. Just because it went way up, that's a speculative asset. That's not a stable, conservative store of value. All you're looking at is a small window of time, and you're seeing this huge 10-year bubble where people have gambled and gotten rich hodling something that's basically intrinsically worthless. There are people who need gold, and they buy gold every day because they need it. Nobody needs Bitcoin for anything.
Yes, they do.
The only people, let me finish. The only people buying Bitcoin are people who think the price is going to go up. Earlier you said the institutions buying Bitcoin prove that it's the new store of value. The only thing Bitcoin proves is that P.T. Barnum was right. There's a sucker born every minute, and those suckers are buying Bitcoin. This is without a doubt the biggest scam I've seen in my entire investment career. Of all the bubbles that I've witnessed, from the .com to housing, nothing can compare with the idiocy of Bitcoin and the complete that nonsense that I hear people say in support of Bitcoin And the things that they say about gold to try to diminish its value, to try to create this false appeal for Bitcoin, I've never seen anything more ridiculous. Nothing that I heard people say during the dot-com bubble or the housing bubble can compare to the irrational comments that I hear every day from people about Bitcoin. But at least, look, at least stocks are real assets. Many of them pay dividends that you can use to make your margin payment.
I am placing a bet that Bitcoin will be above 150,000.
How does Bitcoin pay dividends?
April 15th.
How does Bitcoin pay dividends?
Because we earn yield. 150,000.
How do you earn
take
yield
a correction
on Bitcoin?
after that?
What do you do to generate income on that Bitcoin?
I'm happy to spend an hour with you.
Yeah, you're trading it. You've got to be taking a tremendous amount of risk. The Bitcoin itself doesn't generate any yield.
It does, just like any other asset can generate yield. Gold.
No, but what earnings does the Bitcoin generate?
Gold generates 5.5% at Celsius yield.
No,
tokenized
what
gold.
Are you doing to generate that? You must be taking tremendous risk to generate those returns. Of course you are.
Okay,
you're not. Of course you must be.
Look, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just explaining that this is.
Interest rates are practically zero. How can you get 5% interest on gold?
It's an amazing opportunity for people to unbank themselves, right? Take advantage of this market.
You know who also had an amazing opportunity? Bernie Madoff had an amazing opportunity too. Alex,